Hello everyone and welcome to this video, which is my February wrap-up. So I'm gonna talk about these 3 books that I read in February, and it was a pretty good month, so let's get started. So first of all, I read Moon Palace by Paul Auster, and I had to read it for school because if it wasn't for school I wouldn't have read it at all, I think. And it was surprisingly pretty enjoyable for a school book, but there were a lot of trigger warning that I wish I knew before reading it. I made a list, so I'm gonna tell you like some of the trigger warning. And like usually I don't mind trigger warning in books, like some book can be very triggering and I won't mind like if I know it before reading it. But my issue here is that it was a book that I had to read for school and it wasn't really suitable. I don't know, it just, yeah. So in this book there are a lot of mental illness issues. A lot of fat phobia, and I'm gonna talk about that again later because it was too much. There is also some triggering thing that goes with abortion. Obviously gun violence, and murder, but I mean we're used to it. And also some mention of assault. So yeah. Anyway, the book. So the book was pretty good. I kinda enjoyed it, but the chapters were way too long. The chapters were like around 60 pages. Please make short chapters because it's tiring. It's tiring. The writing style was good. I enjoyed it. The story was enjoyable. It was just way too long. The chapters were way too long, but it was pretty good overall. So let's go back to the fat phobia thing I was talking about. So in one of the chapter, which is chapter 6, we meet a character who is like fat, and I mean it's okay, but the author really like he insists on the fact that he's fat, and for like nearly 50 pages it's just the author describing how fat he is, and in a single like 2 pages there are 6 mention of his weight, and in kinda like it made me mad. I was frustrated and it was annoying. But yeah. So I rated this book 3 stars because it was good, but the fat phobia really got me and I'm angry. So the second book that I read in February is This Violent Delight by Gong, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Every single page of it. I was hooked from the beginning to the very end. Of course it's a 5 stars. I loved it. The characters were amazing. The plot was so good and the romance was great. It was slow and it was good and I loved it. Like, I loved that book so much that I named one of my plushie by the name of my favorite character. I'm obsessed. I was losing my mind while reading it. There were some times that I just had to put the book down, breathe, think, and then read again some sentences I was like reading them over and over, and I finished that book 2 weeks ago, and I'm not over it. I think about it every day, and I need to buy Our Violent End. But yeah, it was amazing. 5 star. I highly recommend it. It's an amazing Romeo and Juliet retelling, and the writing is amazing. I loved it. 5 stars. Read it, please. It's amazing. And finally, I read Serpent and Dove. I started this book on September last year, and I finished it in February, at the end of the month. And like, the reason why it took me so long to read is because I loved it so much that I didn't want it to finish it. But I ended up giving it 4 stars because the ending was disappointing to me. Like, I think it's because like it took me so many months to finish it, and the ending was disappointing, so I was more disappointing. But the book is really good. I love it a lot, except for the last 100 pages. It's really just the end that I didn't like. And I'm currently reading Blood and Honey, which is the second volume of the trilogy, and it kinda took me in a reading slump because I don't really like where it's going, and I'm disappointed because I thought I would love this trilogy, and Blood and Honey is kinda disappointed, but we'll talk about it next month. Anyway, Serpent and Dove. I'm absolutely in love with Reed. I don't know how to pronounce his name, I'm sorry, but I'm in love with him, and he is a ginger. And if you know me, you know how much I love ginger. I started this book when I saw a fan art of him because he was ginger. Alright, now you know my obsession. Anyway, but anyway, the book was good, it was entertaining. It took me way too long to read it and to finish it, and I didn't really like the end. But I hope that Blood and Honey will finish better than it started, and I hope that Gods and Monsters will be better, because the book is right here, he's looking at me, and I hope I will like it, because if I don't, I'll be disappointed. So we're getting closer to the end of the video, so I'm gonna read to you my favorite quote of the month. I think in my wrap-up video I'm gonna do like quote of the month at the end, but I don't know if I should just like tell you my favorite quote of the month, or like one quote per books, or I don't know. So I'm gonna read one quote from This Violent Delights, which I found really funny and good. So the quote is, "You know me, running around, living life, committing arson." Nothing more. Loved it. So it's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a bit late already. We are the 6th of March when I record this video, and I probably will post it next week. So I'm a bit late, but it's okay, it's okay. Anyway, my next video will be a review on This Violent Delights because I loved it, so I need to do a whole video about it. I hope you'll have a nice day, week, night, I don't know, and see you next time. Bye!